Our story today is a true story that actually happened in a large, bustling city. He watched her from afar every day after work, following her from a distance. She would leave her house at exactly 5 o'clock in the evening to sit on the riverbank, and she didn't notice him even though more than 2 months had passed. She was a beautiful woman, despite being over 50. She maintained her beauty through her adornment, elegance, and graceful appearance. She wore gold rings on her hands and gold bracelets as well. Yet, she sat alone, no one visited her, and at precisely 10 o'clock in the evening, she returned home, leaving the river behind her. The man who watched her was 27-year-old who worked in a nearby hardware shop. Every day he would finish his shift, pass by the riverbank, and observe her from a distance. There was something about her, her calmness, her loneliness, her carefully preserved beauty, that fascinated him. But there was something else too, something darker that no one knew. Rumors whispered among the neighbors said she had inherited a large fortune when her husband died unexpectedly 2 years earlier. She had no children and no living relatives, only her loyal dog, who followed her everywhere except to the riverbank. One day, as she was about to leave the riverbank, she turned around and accidentally bumped into him. "I'm sorry," she said quickly, placing her hand over her chest. "I didn't see you. I was turning around and didn't see you. I'm sorry again." He smiled politely. "I'm the one who should apologize. You didn't mean anything by it. I was just passing by quickly, that's why I didn't see you. I'm sorry too." "Are you hurt?" she asked kindly. No, I'm fine," he replied. Then, after a brief hesitation, he added, "I want to make it up to you. Would you mind if I got you something small, like a cup of tea or some ice cream? Or anything you like?" She shook her head gently. "That's very kind, but there's no need." But he persisted, and she finally agreed. Moments later, he returned with the finest ice cream from a nearby shop, soft, creamy, and topped with nuts and fruit. They sat for a while, talking and discovering little details about each other. She learned his name, and he learned hers, Amanda. When she finally asked to leave, he walked her halfway to her street, then politely left her to go home alone. The next day, he returned to the riverbank and found her again. "I came to check on you," he said with a smile, holding the same ice cream flavor as the day before. She laughed softly. "How did you know I like ice cream?" He shrugged. "I like it too. Whenever you mention something you like, you'll probably find I like it as well." And so it continued. Day after day, he visited her. Their conversations grew longer. Their ice cream flavors varied. He listened carefully to everything she talked about, her loneliness, her late husband, the silence of her house, and the fact that she owned more money than she could ever spend but had no one to share life with. Eventually, he proposed marriage. At first she resisted, she was over 50, and he was barely 27. But affection, loneliness, and the sweet illusion of companionship led her to accept. She welcomed him into her home and into her life, showering him with gifts and spending on him without hesitation. She believed fate had finally given her someone to love. But heart was not filled with love. With time, the truth settled heavily upon him. He did not love Amanda. He wanted her wealth, her jewelry, her house, everything. Gradually, he changed. He began to take control of her finances. He stopped her from spending even on small things. He became aggressive, impatient, and cold. And slowly, he formed a plan, one that would free him from her entirely. Every morning, he prepared her juice. At first, he added a small amount of a sleeping pill. Each day he increased the dose little by little. Amanda began to feel unusually tired. She slept longer, ate less, and moved slowly. Her face lost its color, her weight dropped, and her body weakened. When she refused to drink the juice one day, suspecting something was wrong, he insisted she eat something else. She pushed the plate away. He pushed her back. A fight erupted between them, a desperate struggle. And in that moment, with a single violent shove, she fell to the ground. Her head struck the corner of a table. She didn't get up again. Stood frozen, staring at the lifeless body of the woman who had loved him without conditions. Panic gripped him. He thought no one would notice her disappearance. She had no friends, no family, no one to ask about her. He decided to bury her in the garden, under the old lemon tree. He dug through the night, sweating, trembling, burying both her body and his guilt beneath the soil. He cleaned the house, took her jewelry, and planned what to do next. He believed he had gotten away with everything. But fate had other plans. Early the next morning, her loyal dog began scratching the soil of the freshly planted ground. The scent, his owner's scent, pulled him desperately to dig. The neighbors noticed the dog's frantic behavior and something unusual in the garden. They approached, saw the disturbed soil, and grew suspicious. Within minutes, they alerted the police. Officers arrived, followed the dog's digging, and uncovered the hidden grave. Amanda's pale face appeared beneath the dirt, and the truth emerged with horrifying clarity. When returned home that afternoon, calm and confident, he found police cars waiting for him. The officers placed him in handcuffs before he could speak a word. The neighbors watched in silence, shocked but unsurprised. He thought no one would ever discover his crime because she had no one. But she had someone. Her faithful dog. And justice found him through the loyalty of the only creature that truly loved her.